All right. How's it going, everybody? We're just about to start. Welcome to how's it going? I am hitting record on things. Well, look at that. It's been recording for how long? Who knows? Well, let's start it up again. You ready, Z?
Yeah.
Are you ready watching at home? Oh, I hope so.
Are you ready?
You ready? 3, 2, 1, boom. Hello, my name is Chad.
And my name is Z.
And we are the Puppet
Parent
Podcast.
Yay!
Yay, that's so nice. Well, Z, how are you today?
It's another Sunday.
That's right. We made it through another week.
Mm-hmm. It's the 16th official podcast and the 17th week that we've been doing this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it in like are we at that stage in like baby counting where we stop counting weeks and just start counting months?
No, I think we start counting in the size of fruits. That's the stage that we're at. So I think we're the size of an orange.
I gotta tell you, I think we should rename this the Puppet Parent Pandemic because that's what it feels like sometimes. Am I right, audience? You know, because this has been like kind of like our way to document how we're feeling week to week because it totally changes every single week. Like, what are we up to this week besides trying to not be sick and being exhausted? Yay! I did a bunch of work in the woods today, and that's why I'm kind of like pooped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been trying to motivate our children to do their schoolwork.
Yeah.
And that's just been, an ongoing, some days are better than others. And I mean, I'm sure that we could have taken a summer break from that, but I really don't know what the fall is going to look like. So to me, it feels like let's just do a little bit every day, that there is no summer break, that being out here inherently is summer break in a sense, just getting to be outdoors and play around with a dog and camp in the woods sometimes and stuff. But we're still trying to do schoolwork every day. So just a little, I say to Leaf, we have this huge pile. Leaf is our 7-year-old. What would happen? How amazing would it be if we were to get through this pile by the end of the summer, because it just was impossible to get through it during the actual school year because it just was impossible. Or something else would have suffered. Something else would, I have a day job. I should mention that. I also am a co-artistic director of Wonder Spark Puppets, but I also work as the foundation manager for the Jim Henson Foundation, of which Cheryl Henson is president. And I work for that foundation and do 32 hours a week for them. So I'm trying to, be mindful of making sure that the foundation work gets done because a lot of people rely on that. And then also trying to get the schoolwork done, and then also trying to, be a part of our artistic company that we do together. So how's
that working out? Well, how has it always worked out? I think no matter if there's a pandemic or not, that dynamic has stayed true for the last.
You try to find your way with it. Some weeks are better than others. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are you working on in the woods?
So we, my dad and my brother have been working on the deck for this log cabin house, big log cabin house. My entire family, that's my 2 brothers and my 1 sister and their families. We can all come together in this huge house and stay. We're not at the moment, but it's possible. Like that's what we had been doing for, and during the summertime and during like wintertime, Christmas, we would all get together twice a year. Or at least that was always the goal. But so they finally have mostly finished the deck after 3 years of every summer saying it's done, this is it. But it turned out to be a way bigger job than either of them thought. So now there is a bunch of wood just sitting in piles. The old deck stuff is sitting in one pile. The deck parts that they didn't use is in another pile. And then there's a third pile of wood. It's been sitting there for 5 years, probably 4 or 5, from this other project that we all helped out on, making the big kids tree fort, which is massive. So I've been using little pieces of that from each pile to construct stuff at the camp, because we made a camp in the back. It started out as just like a little spot where a tree had got knocked over in a big windstorm, and so there was this lovely little light coming through the forest that was perfect for reading. And now it's like a full-blown camp, and we've added stuff every single time. There's a tire swing, there's an actual tent out there right now, there's like a screen bug-free zone with chairs and a table and and a shelf, and a fire pit and stones around, we're adding to it all the time. It's a fun project. And today, well, the dad had dragged out with a tractor these really heavy, maybe like 1,000-pound steps for the old deck. It's just these stairs that went up to the old deck. It's about like 4 feet tall, but they're massive, and the wood that they use is supremely heavy. So he dragged them out to the campsite, because I told him, oh yeah, we could totally use those. I was thinking bleacher seats. I don't think I used those words, but I said just bring them out. And he got as close to I wanted as he could with the tractor, and then I tried to lift this huge thing and kind of like sidle it over into place, which did not work. It's way too heavy. So he and I together smushed it up against this tree. Now they're bleacher seats, and now they need to be secured. So today I secured them. Many trips back and forth between the campsite and the house, figuring out what I needed each time. I'm sure a lot of DIY parents can relate. It's like, get out there. I'm like, okay, what do I need? Okay, I think I need a shovel and this amount of wood. Okay, good. Go back and get it. Come back. Okay, I actually don't need the shovel because there's too many roots and rocks. I need a screw gun. Okay, go back, get the screw gun. Okay, I can't find the right bit. I can't get the bit to fit into the screw gun. I have to go find somebody and talk to, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Finally, it got done after a couple hours. So now it is more secure, not completely secure. And then I put little flat tops on top of it's something, so it's like bleacher seating on an old pair of stairs, but now you can like rest a drink if you're sitting on top. So yeah, I feel like I'm adding more and more things to this hangout spot, with the idea of that our kids will be teenagers someday, and that it'll be like a cool teenager hangout spot. Also kind of making it, it would be awesome if our friends could come, and hang out in the woods. And it made me really sad today to think like, oh man, I guess I've kind of been building this for me to hang out with my friends, and that's not happening anytime soon. So yeah, I miss my friends today. My friends that I usually see once a year at this big video game music festival that is still, for whatever reason, hasn't canceled yet, but it's gonna cancel. It's in January this year. And I keep telling Z, and you keep telling me that I say this every year, that this will be the last year for our improv troupe, man, because somebody's going to cancel it. Somebody's going to cut it. We're getting too old. We're all 40 now. The 40-year-olds even play video games anymore. The answer is yes. We play different types. Nobody's playing Fortnite. Nobody's on TikTok. We're not even on TikTok.
Yeah. But okay, well, glass half empty. Yes. I mean, and every year you end up going or seeing them in some capacity. So I bet that you'll still have some kind of meetup online this year to commemorate MagFest. It won't be the same, but I'm sure that you'll plan something. And, next year in the Holy Land, as they say. So Karen Fox says hi.
Hey, Karen.
Hi, Karen. Kelly's on. Kelly, we have been spending... Kelly McLean, who taught our children in forest school in a program called Forest Explorers. Miss Kelly.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
From Queen's Botanical Garden. Here. She's no longer with Queen's Botanical Garden because she's moved on to even more amazing opportunities. But I want to just say, since I have you here, right here, to tell you how I feel about you, with everyone listening, who gets to have that moment? I am right now. How appreciative we have been for you in our life. because having you be in Leaf's life and you be in Finn's life to teach them to value playing outside and to value all of the things that you brought to a level of importance in that school was just so amazing, and I missed that time so much. I loved that time with you in forest school. I wish I could have been a little kid going to forest school with Miss Kelly. So since you're here, I just want you to know how much you are appreciated, how much you matter, and how much you are loved. Because I feel like the end of forest school, everything got so busy for our family, and we didn't get to actually say that to you enough in person. So I'm telling you right now, in front of everybody, forever. It's recorded forever on the internet. So there it is.
Thanks, Miss Kelly. Thanks for letting our 2-year-old and then 3-year-old sleep during class. Because he would just pass out, and they would just put him in the tent of pillows while they wandered around the forest with the rest of the kids. It was very nice. We didn't get to see Miss Kelly during this last kind of like the movement, global movement for justice.
I know.
And I feel like this would have been a teacher wearing her Black Lives Matter T-shirt every single day.
Yeah.
And us having that conversation more with our kids.
Well, she said that she's starting a new forest school in the Bronx.
Of
so
course.
If you need a quote from us for anything, you just let me know, and I will write you the most amazing, beautiful quote that has ever been quoted by a quoting person who can quote things.
Yes. Yeah, no, I think the bridge took her out, because some days Miss Kelly wouldn't make it to Queens because the bridge would get super backed up, the Whitestone Bridge.
Yeah.
So yeah, have fun in the Bronx. It's nice to...
Well, she lives in the Bronx, so it's nice to work where you live.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and to be a part of that community. So
Yeah.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you're doing more forest school out there. There is definitely a need for it, so you're going to do great.
Mm-hmm.
And, what I should be doing is forest school right now with our kids. That would be ideal. But then instead, I feel like I don't know. I think I'm just constantly overwhelmed. It's just where I'm at. And then the easy thing is to do the pile. Like we have this pile from school. And we love Leaf School. It's and actually, Miss Kelly, you should know that there are a handful of people who started with you at Forest Explorers at Queens Botanical Garden and who now go to the Q Studio Lab. So I'm not going to be specific with names because privacy stuff, but there's at least 2 other families that I can think of off the top of my head, and I think there might even be a third. And our family who worked with you at Queens Botanical Garden and now are going to this micro school in Sunnyside, Queens. So, yes.
Yes, yay, micro schools.
Yeah.
We are members of a micronation. Is it time
yeah,
to?
We are.
Is it time to
you
let
are.
everybody in?
You made it happen.
Oh no, we are we're members of we're nobility actually. We are the Lady Briggs and the Lord Williams of one of the greatest micronations, because there's so many great ones. I mean, if you don't know, micronations are you can be a country. Doesn't matter how big. Doesn't matter if you're the eastern half of Oklahoma. Doesn't matter if you are a rock that somebody could stand on, which is an actual micronation. I love it, because every year there's a gathering of all the heads of state of micronations. And one time, this one woman brought a rock, and she says, "Wherever I put this rock is where all I have to do is stand on it, and I'm in my country."
I love it.
Yeah, so one of the best micronations out there is off the east coast Gesundheit of England, which is where my mom was. My mom emigrated from England when she was a baby. And it's the country of Sealand. So look it up. It's a fascinating story. Legally recognized because of pirates. They had to fend off. So it's around World War II. England made a bunch of things in the ocean. I don't know what you would call them.
Well, they were
docking
for
station
the
for a ship.
military. They were military.
It's an anti-aircraft gun station. So imagine like 200-foot cement hollow pillars with like a helipad landing on top where you could have like an anti-aircraft gun in the middle of the ocean off the English coast. So those are just laying bare, just empty. And a fun-loving guy decided to set up a pirate radio station on this thing, on this pier in the off the coast in the middle of nowhere. And he decided cheekily to call it his own country, Sealand, because why not? They had their own flag, they have their own motto, they fended off pirates with real weapons, and they had Germans come to try and take it over, but far after the war in the 70s. And they held them hostage and negotiated directly with the German government and went into court, and the English court recognized them as an actual country and to get them released back to Germany. And they were like, there it is. Boom. We're a legit country. Take that, England. You can't kick us out. And they've been boasting that ever since. They have a royalty. They have a king and queen who are no longer with us. Now it's just prince and princesses all the way down.
There was a point where they had passports.
Yes.
As well.
Oh, they have passports again.
They do again?
Yes. Well, they were making passports, and then they were discovering that nefarious people were using those passports for they were up to no good. So they paused for a time. Now you can still get a passport and an official ID card. Don't be like one of those nut jobs that is trying to say like, if you're in the U.S., like, I'm a sovereign citizen and your laws don't apply to me. No, your laws still apply to you, even if you're in a country. Okay. But it's all in fun. It's imagination. It's play for adults.
Lord Williams.
That's right. And you can set for a fee. I could have been a knight, but then if ever, you have to sign a document saying that if ever the country gets attacked, you're obligated to enlist in military service to defend it. And I was like,
as a knight?
Yeah, as a knight. I was like, I don't know about that. So, but I could be a lord. Why not?
Yes.
We own a piece. We own
This was
cubic foot
Christmas present. This was my Christmas present one year.
Yes. I was like, guess what? Guess what, guys? I'm a lord. This is my lady.
Hi. Maybe hello.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's like they send you a plaque and stuff like that. It's all very fun. And I bet Tim Lagasse is also a member of the Noble Court.
Well, if he isn't, he will be as soon as he hears about it.
I'm sure Tim knows all the cool stuff. He's one of the cool kids.
He is one of the cool kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So someday it's gonna come in handy. Those noble certificates are gonna get us out of trouble. I'm telling you. Or I don't know. People will just be like, "What?"
All right, so we've talked about Sealand. We've talked about trying to teach the kids this week.
Yes.
We released a new episode of Mystery Max Investigates. He investigated the mayor of Springville.
Yes, and not like the police investigates. No, he was just asking him some questions. Kind of like what does the mayor do?
Yes, that's right.
What's your job? And I had no idea. I was like, well, what do you actually do as the mayor? Who knows? So we started there. Mm-hmm. It's my old one of the old adults in the Boy Scout troop, whose son is now his son was like in the Foreign Legion or something like that, or the Peace Corps.
Oh.
Yeah, has been skipping around different countries for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was so cool, and it's just been really fun to get to interview all these different people. So if you haven't seen it yet, go to our Facebook page, scroll down a little, and you'll find Mystery Max Investigates What Does a Mayor Do? And you can see us, well, not us, but Max, Mystery Max, our puppet, interviewing Mayor Krebs from Springville. And then next Saturday, we will be releasing the auction video where we interview Damon Gentner of Gentner Commission Market, otherwise known as The Auction, which happens every Wednesday here in Springville.
Mm-hmm. And we learned so much about it. We learned the history of the auction. That I learned why my barber was shut down on Wednesdays, and he's just a super cool guy. It was cool having him break down exactly what he's saying when he's like super fast. And it's our longest Max video to date, because there's so much stuff. There's cute baby animals. There's a bunch of junk being auctioned off. And my dad is like there every Wednesday early.
Yes.
Early. He always buys something for like a couple bucks and comes home and tells us what a steal he got for, only a couple dollars or something.
He loves it.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's
really
his tradition.
cool.
He gets
and
some
there's
donuts.
some Amish that come and bring their stuff and ride in on their horses and buggies, and it's really interesting. So it's just one of the many things that makes Springville so special and unique. So we're so happy to be here. And since we're talking about Springville and feeling so blessed to be here, thank you to Springville Center for the Arts for allowing for us to have the summer residency. We've been doing these videos in collaboration with Springville Center for the Arts to give back to the community. And then also we're going to be doing a few more things over the course of the summer to give back to the community and maybe even make Springville a puppet town, which could be really fun.
That's the goal, puppet town.
We're taking over.
So, 2 nights ago, you spent the night in a tent with the boys. They were super excited about it. So, but how did it go? Because I on our honeymoon, like we tented all over the place, and it killed my back. Like every single night, I was just in pain, including the trip home on the very long trip home. My back was still killing me. I hadn't figured out like all the ins and outs of how my back still worked, and like what stretches and preventative measures I needed to take every single day. But I still knew that like I could not sleep on the ground out there. It's too harsh. So I left you guys. But how did so let's tell everybody that story.
Well, Finn went to sleep almost immediately.
Right, like he does.
But it was so hot out, and he insisted on being in the sleeping bag, and I didn't understand that at all because it was like 98 that day, and so it's nighttime. It still had to have been about 89, 90 degrees, even with the sundown. It was still really hot. So I was saying to the boys, like, we have the sleeping bags. We will sleep on top of the sleeping bags until it gets to the point in the middle of the night where you're cold, and then you get in the sleeping bag. And then you're so happy because you have something warm to get into. Well, Finn was insisting on going into the sleeping bag. So he went in, and then a second later I hear him snoring because he always has a very sweet little light snore. And I unzip the sleeping bag, and he is covered in sweat, just covered. It's so gross. And then I'm like, Finn, what are you doing? Get out of the sleeping bag. So he's like basically sleepwalking like a zombie out of the sleeping bag. I get him on top of the sleeping bag, and he's like, I'm cold. And it's like, of course he's cold because he was covered in sweat. So he just got out of that. So now it's like he's cooling off immediately. So I give him his, he has this blanket that he really likes called his snowflake blanket. So I gave him his snowflake blanket, and he takes the blanket and he insists on putting it up over his head and tucking it even in behind his head. So it's like a full on cocoon. And I'm like, why? So 5 minutes later, he's asleep again. I hear the sound, the snory, light snore.
Yes.
And then I peel the blanket off of his face because at that point, again, covered in sweat. And I just kind of leave it at his waist a bit. And then he just keeps sleeping until the middle of the night when, we all kind of woke up at the same time and went, we're cold. And so then we all got into our sleeping bags. And then Leaf, he just, at one point he said he was scared. I don't fully believe that he was scared. I think that he was just like had a lot of energy and he didn't know how to channel it. Because he was like, look, there's lightning bugs. Oh my gosh. Like he just couldn't like calm himself down. And then he was like, I'm scared. And I said, do you want me to call up Daddy and he can come out and get you? And he's like, no, I want to stay here. And I was like, okay, great. Well, then we're just going to go to sleep and I'm right here. And then at one point he's like, I'm going to sleep by the door. And I was like, no, you're not sleeping by the door. I am sleeping by the door. Oh, there was just a lot of talking. Leaf could not reel it in. He just talked. And finally I said, Leaf, we will not be able to listen to the sounds of the forest if you are talking. So you need to be quiet. Shh. And let's just listen and see what we can hear. And so I tried that for a while, and then eventually one of us fell asleep. I don't remember who. Yeah, probably me. But then eventually he fell asleep too.
Yeah. So next time he gets a flashlight and a book.
We read books, but then, I didn't want him to stay up till all hours reading while me and Finn are sleeping.
Yeah.
And I also didn't want him reading, keeping me up. Like, the whole thing with camping is the sun goes down and you go down.
Yeah.
So then, and I was not tired at 10 p.m., but that's how late we stayed up. I think there was like a whole hour of Leaf talking while Finn was sleeping and me saying, okay, now we're going to relax. So finally we went to sleep. But that's really early for me. I usually don't go to sleep until about midnight or 1 a.m. So 10 p.m. was like, whoo, hard. But it was good because then I didn't sleep well. Because I'm used to sleeping on a mattress. Like, I'm older now. And I had a thin mat.
Old.
I'm not that old. But I will say that, it's not comfortable. Like, I don't know how these guys, like, they just didn't bother them at all, And I had this thin mat underneath me, but it really didn't do much at all. And it's mostly just like I just have bony hips and stuff, and I would sleep on my back for like an hour, and then I'd wake up and then I'd have to switch to my side. And side is not unhappy because there's nothing to like cushion it. Anyway, blah blah blah. We all woke up at like 6 a.m. Finn woke up and said, "The sun's awake and I'm awake and it's morning time." Then we're all awake. And then everybody had to go pee at the same time, and we're too far away from the house, so they all just left the tent, went pee on the side of the tent, not on the tent, but like to the side of the tent, close to the tent. And I was like, further away is going to smell like pee. Anyways, these are the issues with boys and mama boys. And, what's nice is that since they are boys, they can much more easily do that. Girls is harder to have a nature pee like that. There's a lot more to think about and consider.
We'll say the younger we've been working on. He's great about keeping the pee inside until it's time, but then he'd be like ooh and run to the bathroom, and then there's this whole like throwing open the toilets and like throwing down like his pants and underwear as the pee is exploding out of him. It's just like blah all at the same time. So we've been working on that because like he'll have peed his pants or there'll be pee everywhere. And finally, I saw it in person. I saw it happen, and I was just like, okay,
this is a problem.
Okay, yeah. So today he came up and told me, he's like, hey, guess what? And he told me that he had done it without the explosion happening. Yeah.
I know that there will be a point where we won't have to deal with anything with the bathroom for an entire day with these kids.
I really hope so.
Oh God. There's just so much with the pee and the poop and you think you get to a certain age and you're like, are we done yet? No, you are not.
No,
you're not done dealing with that, and you will continue to deal with that. But there might be a point where we don't have to deal with that for an entire day, and I am looking forward to that day. I remember when they were just born, like Finn was just born and Leaf was 2 years old, and I remember thinking to myself, there will be a day at some point where nobody cries for an entire day.
Yes.
And that will be a beautiful thing. So this too shall pass.
Yeah.
And
no, I was remembering feeling like when Leaf was 4 and Finn was 2, feeling like someday I won't have to carry one of them, or someday I won't have to like be holding on to one of them at all times or something,
I still carry them though a little bit because I can. They're getting to be big, so that's why I still do it, because pretty soon I'm not going to be able to. But Finn is only 5 pounds lighter than Leaf, but somehow it's more evenly distributed or something.
It's all muscle. Like if you like grab his arm or leg or anything, and it's like a tree trunk. It's solid mass of muscles. So yeah, I think it's all about that.
Yeah.
Which is good because his older brother is not going to be able to get away with those same shenanigans. He is not as, Finn gets really upset when his older brother will say like, okay, race you, and then start running. But they're getting closer.
Yeah, Finn's going to beat him eventually.
He's gonna hit that gap, and he's going to surpass him physically, which is great for the power structure, for that relationship, because for the older not always to be stronger.
Well, maybe that'll help Leaf and want to do better in school. Maybe, I don't know. I know that was a dynamic with friends of mine who had siblings growing up. That there were 3 kids. The second child, the middle child, ended up doing very, very well in school. And come to find out later, when we talked as he got older, that it was because he felt unnoticed. So he ended up trying to do very well in school so that his parents would notice him more. Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out.
I don't know.
Yeah, who knows, right?
Hey, Dave. Hey, Wavy. Wavy is still is watching, and Karen says she's still waiting. Oh boy, when her kids are grown.
Oh,
No. No. Maybe that's in reference to something else.
Okay, good.
Maybe we said something else that we were waiting for, but we want to say hi to Wavy. Hi, Wavy. Wavy has this amazing patch program that he's been doing called the Department of Peace, where he makes these patches, and I think he has T-shirts too, that you can get that say Department of Peace, and they're so awesome. And they inspired me to make these armbands that say Disarm. It's like a similar kind of aesthetic, and that was inspired from Wavy's Department of Peace stuff. We love Wavy. Hi, Wavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's been a week. Tomorrow is going to be a big day. We're partnering. We're teaming up with this company called Serious After School.
No, Serious Fun.
Thank you, Serious Fun. It's like it's an after school program, but they're doing like full day streaming programs now. And so this whole week, starting tomorrow for the next 5 weeks, we're going to be partnering with them, which is a big deal, and we're super excited. And it's going to mean a lot of sessions, doing like 15 minutes of puppet show, then having kids draw things. The sessions with all the kids are like 30 to 45 minutes. And then you get to repeat the curriculum, which is nice.
Yeah.
So
Chad's going to be super busy doing that. I'll be
and our team
doing my job at the Jim Henson Foundation with Cheryl Henson. So that'll be so fun. And what else are we doing this week?
That's about it. And I mean, it's just like your regular stuff. You know, it's going to be more busy, but I feel like I've been in this space a lot, but there's always work to do, no matter where we are.
I've been making a new puppet for Wonder Spark, and that's been progressing. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have a build along with me session where I'm either fixing something that's broken or I'm building a puppet. Lately, I've been building this Rapunzel puppet that I'm very excited about. And I've just finally gotten the head shape to a point where we can start really thinking about facial features. Cool. So yeah, it's like, whoo, things are happening.
Amazing. Well, tune in Tuesdays and Thursdays at
4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Yeah,
if you want to watch Z Make a Hand Puppet live.
Sometimes it's 4:03 p.m.
Oh, goodness.
It's as just real life people.
Yeah.
But we try for 4 p.m., but it's hard. I'm finishing up one job and then I begin another job. So
No, I'm writing a new script, but it's like, I don't know if it's like this for everybody, but usually I get really excited about an idea and flesh it out, and then I'm stuck trying to feel like, okay, but what about X, Y, and Z? I want this to be more than just a booth show, and I have all these like drawings and stuff, and then the more I think about it, I'm like, oh man, I get hung up on not like details, but like what I want it to be. Like, okay, great, this is a great idea. Maybe it's more of a kid's book, or maybe this is like something that doesn't exactly fit. So this week I wrote out like, what do I want the message of the show to be, which is the core of it, and then how do I want kids to feel when they come away from the show. And that really helped me focus on like, okay, all the work I've been doing up until, so like version 6 of my idea, I'm like, and that's gone. Goodbye. Everything I've been like researching every single day and drawing characters and like what the set's gonna be and where we're gonna go. Goodbye, because it wasn't fitting. It wasn't 100%. It wasn't fitting exactly what I needed, and so now I have a new idea, and I'm like, okay, that fits exactly where I want to be, and then I could fill in all the little details going through there. But it's like I have all these little scraps of stuff that could be something, but I can't cling to them because usually the first 7 versions of something are crap, or my stuff are crap, and then by like version 8, it starts to be like, okay, this could actually be good. And then the testing phase begins where you make like crummy puppets and try it out and go from there. So I will tell you that I'm back to animals. Been listening a lot to a lot of people about where we're at. I am a white male puppeteer. Even though I'm not seen when I'm manipulating a figure, I think that things have changed. So I think I'm back on the animal wagon. I'm not going to be using any human characters because it's just too volatile right now.
Is this for the Jewish show that you're writing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not for Rapunzel.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No. I mean,
I don't even know if we're gonna have a Rapunzel show. By the way, like
yeah, it's just fun to
I just
make.
really wanted to make this puppet. So, and while Chad is figuring out what this new show is going to be that he's making, I had this image that I saw by this illustrator, and I just loved it. It's this black Rapunzel, and I saw it, I think, a couple months ago that you showed it to me. And then since then, it's just like been like here in my brain, like, God, that image is so beautiful. And I love the story of Rapunzel. I just have always I love the idea of somebody climbing up somebody's hair. And I don't know, it's just like so fantastical in a sense. And maybe also because the idea of being trapped and not being able to leave your house. Maybe I was just relating and projecting a lot. But, when it came time to start doing these build along sessions, I said, you know what, I really wanted to make that puppet. So even if we don't do anything with it, I'm going to make a beautiful puppet. And then, you know, I do commission work. So if anybody wants me to make a puppet of somebody that they love or somebody that they know, I'd be happy to make a puppet of even you. I just need pictures of the front of your face, the profile, and the 3/4, and then any other pictures that you have. And then I can we can talk about price, and I can make a puppet. So yeah.
Yep.
I know Chad's thinking in all her free time.
Yeah.
But you know,
maybe you can get it to him in like 5 years. 5 years is
no,
a good timetable.
No, that's not how long it takes. But we can. I'm getting better at timetables and such. I really am. Things have been getting completed. So
yeah, that's nice. So,
yes.
I think that's it for this week, man.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's like it's going to be a busy week. So it's like, let's get back to our kids. Let's have you get back to your kids, right? I'm assuming at this point. And I hope everyone has a great week.
Oh, the one thing we didn't mention, I've been growing a garden, and I got to harvest some cucumbers yesterday, and that was so exciting.
Oh, we got to post them. Then
yeah, okay.
Post a photo.
Yeah, but it's been so rewarding. I've never gotten to plant a real vegetable garden before, and this is just a tiny one, but I've never grown cucumbers, and that's just been awesome. These and they do so much work when you're not there. Like they do crazy things, and then you go back and visit the next day, and you're like, oh my gosh, you guys were busy. Look at you. You're so much further. Wrap them around things and trellises. You got to
watch. All right. You got to watch this amazing sketch comedy by a famous British comedian whose name I forget, where he's like, he's a farmer, and he's like, hey, come here, check this out. Look at these things. You plant them in the ground, and then they just grow on their own.
Yeah, I'm a little like that, and I'm also a little like what we were saying the other day, like Mrs. Tottington from The Were Rabbit, from Wallace and Gromit. I'm like Miss Tottington.
That's right.
With my carrot, and I'm so excited about the carrot.
Yeah, and those bad bunnies came and ate the greens off your onions the other day because somebody left probably me left the gate open.
I don't know who did it. Either you or one of the boys.
Maybe it was the bunnies.
Maybe the bunnies did it.
Maybe the deer came over, like Ocean's.
Use their nose.
Ocean's 3.
Nuzzled.
And it was like whoop up with that, and the snake was like helping the gate open, and the bunnies went in and like, okay, gobbled them up.
Well, the onions are still there, but there's no tops left. No tops.
You got to make a Peter Rabbit scarecrow. Bunnies.
Yeah,
Let's get some kids' clothes out there.
We have the CDs. I'm supposed to hang the CDs, and the motion is supposed to scare off the animals as well. So,
put an owl sculpture up too.
There's all sorts of things I could be doing.
Yeah.
It's just me versus the slugs right now. So
the little puppy pooped in the kitchen. We could put some of that out there. I bet that'd be a good deterrent.
I don't want to. No, that's
No?
okay. No, I've been putting eggshells out anyway. Blame your mother. What does that mean?
Oh,
I don't know what that means.
Rapunzel, maybe?
Maybe that's what that's in reference to. I didn't look down soon enough. So anyway, we had a really great week with the garden, and now we're going to have a really great week with the puppet company. And I hope that you all have a really great week. Oh, and don't forget my PSA. If you're having a tough time, if you're in a part of the country where things are really getting rough right now, and you're feeling like you're not yourself, or that you really could use somebody to talk to, but you don't know who that could be, make sure that you reach out and talk to somebody. You could talk to us, you can talk to anybody, but, for anything that goes wrong. Well, right now I'm blaming the pandemic, but yes, it's true. You could definitely blame your mother for anything.
Don't worry, Karen. I blame my mom for everything. But usually that's true.
No, be nice.
What?
Nice.
They don't have internet access. They won't be watching this anytime soon.
Yes, but they are giving us a place to live. So
all I have to do is mention the word therapy, and my parents will run away.
Anyway, what I'm trying to say, thank you for mentioning therapy, is that if you are in need of talking to somebody, if you're starting to feel like you don't matter, you do matter. You are worth it. You are special. You are important, and don't let the sadness get you down. I know that sometimes if you can't be in touch with people for periods of time and things are really intense, and maybe in your state or your area right now because of the pandemic, it might feel like it's too much, but there are people out there to help, so make sure that you get the help that you need. You matter, okay? And I just want to make sure I say that every week because it can be really intense going forward. So thank you so much, everybody, for everything. And yes, the roof over your head. We are so appreciative to Chad's parents for the roof over our head right now. So thank you. And we're going to head out and go play with our kids, I think, for the rest of the day. But
okay.
So
bye,
thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Thanks for listening. We are the Puppet Parent Podcast. You can check out more episodes over at puppetparentpodcast.com. We're live streaming these episodes, live streaming the recording every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at facebook.com/WonderSparkPuppets or on YouTube, youtube.com/NYCPuppets. It's a long story. Yes, we also have youtube.com/WonderSparkPuppets. But anyway, all right. Thanks so much, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.